Guys, let's go to our next game, the afternoon window on ABC that will lead into the evening. And we've got a amazing appetizer. If Georgia, Alabama is the main dish, the main card, the undercard's pretty good too. LSU at Ole Miss, the Rebs, 2.5-point favorites at home on ABC. Guys, this opened at LSU minus a point and the hook. And the public said, no, absolutely not. We're not trusting Brian Kelly to go on the road, to go into Ole Miss and what seems to be a very complete team in the Rebs so far. Now, the first question with this game, guys, and I put this out on Twitter, I think Trinidad Chambliss, QB2, the transfer from Ferris State, I think whether or not Austin Simmons is healthy, I think he's got to be the starter.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm with you on that. Trinidad Chambliss has come in and balled out the last couple weeks, ready when his number was called. And one of those was against a really solid Tulane team, a team that I had ranked in my top 25 poll in the All Podcasters poll that we put out. So I was high on Tulane. They dismembered Tulane last week, and Trinidad Chambliss was a big part of that. The defense was a big part of it as well. But Trinidad Chambliss, using his arm, using his legs, he's been kind of a revelation for an offense that was not doing great early on with Austin Simmons running the show. And he was having some turnover problems. They were kind of stuck in first gear against Kentucky with Austin Simmons. Trinidad Chambliss has looked like the real deal.
I mean, to that point, kind of, I was listening to a preview earlier today where they were asking, does Ole Miss have a quarterback controversy? And I was like, emphatically, no, it's got to be Chambliss. He's the guy. Like, I don't know. I don't think that there's actually really a controversy here because, have you seen the offense when he's running the show? Yeah, maybe the defenses haven't been the best that he's faced, but he's putting up crazy video game numbers.
He's been very efficient so far, not only doing it through the air, but almost 200 yards on the ground as well. And I know a lot of coaches will say that you can't lose your job to injury, that you're going to get it once you come back and you're healthy. But we're also talking about a 19-year-old quarterback who's starting for the first time in his career in Austin Simmons, and a guy that's played a lot of football at objectively a lower level in Ferris State, but he's won at every level that he's played at so far. The offense just has, I think, an undeniable spark with Trinidad under center. And so for me, if you've got LSU coming in, a team with so far an elite defense, you're going to need every edge, I think, that you can find. And for me, Trinidad's that guy. Now, Trey, one concern that I do have about Ole Miss is I think LSU kind of comfortably wins the battle in the trenches. Ole Miss is one of the worst teams in the country so far this season at actually getting to the quarterback. The recipe for success against Garrett Nussmeier seems to be pressuring him off his spot and being able to stop the run, something that LSU has really not had a part of their offense so far, right? Brian Kelly's getting asked to start press conferences, hey, man, why can't we run the football? I feel like Ole Miss has to find a way to make LSU one-dimensional if they want to win at home.
And to be frank, though, LSU has done a great job of making themselves one-dimensional for the first part of this year. I have not been impressed with LSU's offense and Ole Miss's defense. I know they lost a ton of guys. I was really worried about that coming in. Against the schedule they've played so far, I feel like that's the caveat we got to say about almost all these teams. But against the schedule they played so far, they've looked really, really good, including that Tulane game that I mentioned earlier. So I'm not that concerned about LSU, or Ole Miss, I should say, generating pressure, because LSU's not done a great job of keeping opposing defenders out of the backfield, either on passing downs or running downs when they're trying to set up the run. LSU has not done a good job for 2 years now of staying out of being one-dimensional. So I'm worried about that. I don't know what this offense looks like when there's not a dynamic running quarterback for LSU, because that's been a problem since Garrett Nussmeier took over. Has it not?
It has.
So, I'm looking at this offense. I'm looking at it struggling to get out of first gear. And it's hard for me to not look at this and not take Ole Miss minus the points at home. I don't trust Brian Kelly on the road. I don't trust this offense from what they've shown me so far this year. And Ole Miss, I'm willing to be wrong on them. They've looked like one of the better teams in the SEC to this point in the year. Adjusted for the talent that they've been playing against, adjusted for their schedule. Now, the one thing, guys, I don't know if we want to get into this yet, but there is a little love story brewing on the sidelines that I don't know if that's an intentional one or if that's, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but is it sabotage?
That's Lane Kiffin pulling out all the stops.
Yeah,
I think it might be.
putting it all out there, trying to do anything you can to win the game. You got to respect it at a certain point.
For the uninitiated, Lane's, I don't know if he has multiple daughters. His oldest daughter, Landry, just went public on Instagram that she is dating Whit Weeks, star linebacker of the LSU Tigers. The timing is nothing short of hysterical, given it's game week against the Tigers. Listen, congrats to the happy couple. Wish them nothing but the best. But the timing's weird, and for that to be even a joke around the LSU locker room, it's not helping. That's for sure. Certainly, an interesting card to be played by the mafia family that is the Kiffins.
And if Carrie Underwood's songs are to be believed, guys, it's a big distraction. Like, you could lose your free ride to college because of a girl that's distracting you from practice.
That's a crazy deep cut, but I love it. I'm all here for it.
That is a deep cut. Guys, I'm on Ole Miss as well, minus the points. The biggest question I have in this game is Ole Miss's defense, and I've alluded to that already. But you combine Brian Kelly's history of struggles on the road and an offense specifically that underperforms on the road. And I'm supposed to assume that LSU has a get-right week on the road in the Grove, where Lane Kiffin has actually been fairly good in his career. I believe he's 7-4, I want to say, in his career against ranked teams in the Grove. Can't find that note in my writing right now, but I think that Kiffin will draw up enough offensively to be able to get 1 or 2 over on Blake Baker, which LSU's defense has improved dramatically, and credit to them. But I have not seen the support from that offense. Caden Durham turned an ankle, I believe, this last week against Southeastern. So I don't know if he's going to be fully healthy. The running game hasn't been good outside of him anyway. I think LSU is probably the more talented team, but this just seems like a bad situation for them. And you throw on top of the fact that Ole Miss is once again the top team in the country in 20 plus and 30 plus yard plays from scrimmage. This just does not feel like a comfortable situation for the LSU Tigers. So I'll back the Rebs.
Yeah, I think I'm not super high on Ole Miss anyways, but I am going to pick them to win this game because I think LSU's been a little bit of fool's gold so far. I don't think that LSU's maybe quite as good as they're getting credit for right now in the media. And I get it because we all watched them beat Clemson first week of the season and we thought, wow, this is one of the best teams in the country. Just look at that defense. Did you see what Syracuse just did to them? I'm not sure that was quite as good of a win as they thought. It was a gritty win for, Georgia Tech to beat Clemson. I give you that much, but I'm not quite sure that holding, Clemson's offense down is necessarily a Herculean effort at this point. And we've seen them not quite pull away from like the littler teams on their schedule. And even like, look, their bigger win is also a win against a very bad Florida team where, they threw 5 picks, but kind of digging into that a little bit, they gave up 287 passing yards to Florida. Miami only gave up 61 to them last week. So I'm kind of looking at this like, okay, I'm not quite sure you are what you say that you are, or you think that you are. I definitely think the defense is good. Like, I'm not saying that they're a bad defense in disguise. They're about to get exposed because you can't play that level of defense that consistently without being at least good. I just don't think that they're like top of the nation elite type defense. And when you're playing a quarterback like Trinidad Chambliss, like, I just think that this is a bad recipe for them. I don't think that this is very good for them. I also think that this could be a really bad, like, negative game script type thing where, if Ole Miss goes up, 10 points at any point in this game, you can almost put this thing away and kind of, there's no ability to really pin your ears back, get after the quarterback and, add that kind of pressure because you still have to look out for being balanced. And there's just a lot that I think could go wrong for LSU in this one. I'm not completely sold on them as a team right now. So I'm going to take Ole Miss because I think they're the better team right now. And, I'm fully prepared for, Garrett Nussmeier to figure it out because I think that he will at some point this season. I think at some point this season, whether it's his health, whether it's, like a nagging injury type of thing, or if it's just he's not playing very well right now, I think he gets it figured out. I just don't think it's this week.
Clemson and Florida fans have their head in their hands being used as the teams that are measuring quality losses.
I'm so sorry.
Not a position those two fan bases are wanting to be. Certainly, we're all on the Rebs, so congratulations to LSU on a quality road win. Can't wait to break that down on Saturday night.